Anyone want to take that? The question was, are we seeing any impact on security of networks that where AVB standards have been applied to the data? Anyone want
to? I would say that I don't foresee any impacts on it. I mean, you have the same potential issues with security. So, I mean, effectively, at some level, we've got Ethernet packets flying around on the network. The job of security really falls into two realms. One, just physical security of access to the network itself, but also if there are any particular necessities for the particular application to do encryption. AVB to a large extent is some of the lower levels are plumbing. And so, what you encapsulate into that to deliver in a deterministic, guaranteed fashion, if you had to, say, get some type of, secure audio from one point to another, you could do encryption before putting it into the 1722 packet. So, there's nothing. Again, one of the big values here is that it is directly leveraged off of Ethernet. So all of the advantages of Ethernet are there. And similarly, a challenge of security in Ethernet, that's a level above the physical layers of Ethernet, which you can still apply those same things here.
And also fiber optics used in the controls, is that correct?
I think that's correct, but I'm going to defer to someone who is more expert on how that might work exactly. I have heard that it can be done wirelessly, but
so specifically about fiber, I mean, you can use fiber now, just like standard Ethernet.
We have already, actually.
Yeah.
I'll jump in, but you can come back to Wi-Fi because I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
We've actually had a couple of beta systems in the States already with the Harman product that we have. The second was at the Red Bull Flugtag event, which is where crazy Leonardo da Vinci types design, correct me if I'm wrong, design planes and then run down a hill with them and then jump off, I would presume, at the last minute, and it flies off a cliff.
And that was with a fiber optic cable.
Yeah, and they actually put it to, and the system, I think, had 6 of our matrix boxes, 30 or so amps, 6 or switches or so, Brad's nodding at the back. And I think they had about 3,000 feet of fibre because the fibre is built into the switch that we are working with Netgear to distribute. So yeah, if it, like you say, and like we've said, and Lee's about to say with Wi-Fi, if it exists in Ethernet, it exists in AVB, or the other way around, whatever. So, yes.
And I think the least concern was the network stability versus the people flying those planes.
Yeah.
But back to your question about Wi-Fi, there is work being done on that. The majority of traction, the closest, the majority of what we've been talking about here is wired Ethernet. There is extensive work being done in 802.11 AA, which will provide time synchronization in those networks. Those networks are inherently more difficult because unlike a switched network, there are collisions and there are retransmissions of things. So certainly, the standards have been developed with that in mind. There are 2 classes of traffic. Class A, which we talk about, the 2 milliseconds. There's a Class B, which is up to 50 milliseconds. And again, that was put in as provisions for wireless transmissions, because obviously there will be collisions and you will have to try to deal with that. And that work is underway.
Stage racks and stage boxes, rather than just show audio.
There certainly needs to exist, and there is coming, a mechanism inherent in AVB whereby device A can discover device B and request the transmission of a signal, or send to, I guess. That's part of the protocol, 1722.1. It's early in its development. Certainly at this time when we're sharing AVB signals, we're doing it ourselves, if you like. So we will certainly see a time, it will be part of the eventual AVB ratified standards.
Would that include hardware-specific control like game?
No, I don't think that would. that wouldn't itself.
Yeah, I think the intention of AVnu is not necessarily to standardize on exactly how the control of a mic preamp works, for example. Right. But I bet you that it will, because I bet you that it will become a de facto standard will emerge. Just like once people realized MIDI was good at controlling devices, a range of MIDI mic preamplifiers that were MIDI controlled have come out. There's no provision within MIDI to do MIDI control specifically, but once a few implementations existed, people go, well, that kind of works for me too. It very quickly can gather pace that way. And then I think what you'll see is not everybody's mic pre is the same, so there'll be some features like switching impedance that you can't quite get to, but the basics like switching gain, I bet you'll be able to get to, even if it does not become a fixed part of an AVB standard that people must comply with.
But you can see a de facto standard occurring in, what, 5 years?
Yeah, I bet it'll be in less than 5 years. Yeah.